Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and hi my friends. As we have started the series of eye, and now in this series we have reached to the chapter lens and cataract. So before moving to the details and pathology of cataract, we should have the basic knowledge of the dimension and histological structure of the lens. Okay. So what is lens? Lens is a transparent biconvex structure which is placed between the iris interiorly and the vitreous posteriorly, okay, in a saucer shaped like fossa called patellar fossa, okay. So this is the fossa in which the lens is placed, okay. So posteriorly we have the vitreous humor and interiorly we have the iris. This is the lens. Now, development of the lens. Lens develops from the surface ectoderm during the third week of gestation, okay. So weight, it is 90 milligram in children and it is 225 milligram in adults, okay. Refractive index is, what is refractive index? Refractive index is the power of a medium which refract the light when a light passes through it, okay. When a light passes through a medium and it deviates the light, change the path of the light. This is called refractive index. So the refractive index of the lens is variable. As in the center, it is a nucleus, so it has a refractive index of 1.41, okay, 1.41. And the refractive index of the peripheral region, which is called cortex, it has 1.3, okay, and the average refractive index of the lens is 1.39, okay. The histological structure. The lens has mainly four parts: the lens capsule, the epithelium, the lens core, which is made by the lens fibers, and we have the suspensory ligaments or zonules, okay. So this is the I have zoomed the lens, okay. I will raise it in order to have clear view, okay. So the first structure we have this is the capsule, okay. This is the capsule. This bluish area is the capsule. Capsule is a homogeneous and transparent structure which acts as an envelope for the lens, okay. It encircles the lens. Okay, all over the lens and act as an envelope. Remember, it is a basement membrane for the underlying endothelium. For the underlying epithelial cells, it acts as a basement membrane. It has a thickness. It has variable thickness. At interior, it has a thickness of 14 micrometer. Okay, 14 micrometer. At posterior pole, it has a thickness of 2 to 4 micrometer. Okay, and at equator region, it is thick. Okay, it has a diameter like in this region. It has a diameter of 20 to 23, thickness 20 to 23 micrometer, okay. So it is thick at the equator. This was about the lens capsule. Now the second structure in the lens is the epithelium. The structure which is present under this capsule at the interior pole, it is called epithelial cell of the lens. And these epithelial cells, they are a single layer of cuboidal cells, okay. They are cuboidal in nature and it is a single layer of cells, okay. And remember, this single layer of cell is only present under the interior capsule, okay. It is not present under the posterior or right over here. It is only present under the interior capsule, okay. And this epithelium has normal mitotic and metabolic activities like other cells in the body, okay. So this is the cells. These are the cells. The third structure of the lens, these are the lens fibers, and which is the main structure and form the core of the lens. These are the lens fibers, okay. So these are the lens fibers. So how the lens fibers are formed and what are they? As when these cuboidal cells, when they come to the periphery, to the equatorial region, okay, these cuboidal cells, when they come to this equatorial region, they elongate, okay? They elongate and become the lens fiber, okay? So basically these lens fibers are made up of the epithelial cells, okay? The epithelial cells, when come to this equator region, they elongate and they form the lens fibers. So remember, on this base, on this new formation of the lens fiber, we have two regions in the lens. We have the central region, which is called the nucleus, and we have the peripheral region. This is the cortex, okay? This is the cortex. So there is no morphological other difference in this division, but there is that the fibers which are forming, which are in the periphery, they are new, so they are soft in consistency, and it has a lower refractive index. As I told you, it has a refractive index of 1.3 because of its soft consistency. So that's why it is called the cortex, and the fibers which are in the center, they are old fibers. As the new fibers come, they will push the old fibers into the center, and these fibers are so compactly arranged that they become hard, and it has a refractive index of 1.41. So because of its hardness and compactness, it has a refractance of 1.41, and it is called the nucleus of the lens, okay? So this was about the third structure, the lens fibers. Now the fourth structure is the suspensory ligaments, or they are also called zonules. These are the structures, okay? They are the suspensory ligaments. They originate from the ciliary body, from the non-pigmented epithelium of the ciliary body. This is the ciliary body, okay? So they originate from this ciliary body, from the non-pigmented epithelium, and they are actually suspensory ligaments, or zonule, are made up of collagen fibrils, okay? So the collagen fibrils will make up the filaments, and ultimately these zonules, okay? Now they are attaching, this is the equator, okay, right? This is the equator. To this equator, these fibers will arrange anteriorly and posteriorly, and they will merge with the lens capsule, okay? They will merge with the lens capsule, okay? With this capsule, they will merge. This is the fourth structure. The zonules are the lens fibers. So this is the dimension of the lens and histological structure of the lens, okay? Now we should have a basic overview of the cataract and its classification, and in the upcoming lecture we will discuss it in detail, okay? So what is cataract? What is cataract? Cataract is the opacification of the lens. It means when the lens becomes cloudy and hazy. As I told you, the lens is a clear, transparent, biconvex structure. So when there is the cloudiness, okay, when the cloudiness develops in this lens, when the cloudiness develops, then this is called, this cloudiness and haziness, this is called cataract, okay? Well, we have three types of classifications. We have classified this cataract on the basis of age, on the basis of location, and on the basis of when it develops, okay? So on the basis of age, we have congenital cataract as in a newborn, we have infantile cataract, okay, infants, we have juvenile cataract, a little older children, and then we have adult cataract in adults, and we have pre-senile cataract, the people at 40 and mid-age, okay, pre-senile cataract. And when the cataracts become, it appears in older individual, it is called senile cataract. Okay, on the basis of age, it can be congenital, infantile, juvenile, etc. Then we have divided the cataract on the basis of location, that where the opacity and the haziness has developed, okay. So it can be capsular, as there can be the opacification in this capsular region, okay. When this capsular region becomes cloudy and hazy, this is called capsular cataract. This can be polar. When the central area of this capsule has been involved, the central area, Okay, it can be anterior and it can be posterior. When the central area of the capsule has involved, it is called polar cataract and it can be anterior or posterior. Then we have subcapsular cataract. As me subcapsular, below the capsule. It can also be interior subcapsular or posterior subcapsular, okay? When the opacity occurs in the subcapsular area. This is called subcapsular cataract. Then we have the cortical cataract. As when it develops in the cortex, okay? In the cortex, in the soft area. This is called cortical cataract. When it develops in the nucleus, it is called nuclear cataract. Okay, when the opacity involves the nucleus, so it will be nuclear cataract. And then we have two special types of cortical cataract which are also included in this classification. They are the lamellar cataract and coronary cataract. The lamellar cataract will involve a specific type of lamella. Okay, it will involve a lamella in the cortical region. And this lamella, in a single or multiple lamella can be involved, but it will involve a specific lamella. This is called lamellar cataract, okay? And then we have the special type of cortical cataract which is coronary cataract. Coronary cataract is when there is the development of deep opacities. In the deep cortical opacities, what will happen? These opacities will develop in such a manner around the nucleus that they will look like a crown. Okay, so in the deep cortex, this opacity will develop in such a pattern that it will looks like a crown. So that's why it is also called coronary cataract. Okay. Now the last classification is when the cataract develops. Okay, is it from the congenitally or it develops later in life? When it is the cataract is present from birth or in early childhood, it is called congenital cataract. Okay, when it develops later in life, it is called acquired cataract. And basically we will keep these classification in minds, but basically we will discuss congenital and acquired cataract, this classification, in the upcoming lectures and details, okay, with their pathogenesis, clinical features, diagnosis and treatment. I also have prepared notes. I will give you the link in the description. You can also go through the notes and can learn more. Thanks for watching the video.